about 1958, I started working on air pollution when it became apparent that I needed a larger team to do air sampling in the open air and to examine samples that we'd collected. And I made a list of the technical staff I thought I needed and was told that that would be an impossibility, but I could have 4 drivers. Well, I was a bit dismayed at this, but after a time I took them on and I allocated them round the rest of my technical staff, and we each took one of them under our wing, and I was amazed at how quickly they became adept at experimental work, and how conscientious and how careful they were. I also discovered how good they were at recording what they have done. They would keep a good log of their activities. And as a result, these chaps came in as very low paid drivers, or very low paid laboratory workers, and they got promoted. And within a very short space of time, all 4 of the drivers that I'd taken on became the top grade of scientific assistants in the department, and they displayed enormous talent which had not been realised in their previous occupation, and I found them the most conscientious and useful workers. And one of them was very competent at using high-powered microscope, oil immersion, doing regular counts, which were checked and verified occasionally, but he was capable of being given a task to send off and work entirely on his own and bring back, I will say, better results than professional people who had been dragged out of their laboratories. For example, senior experimental officers, reasonably high grade technical people, taken out of the laboratory and asked to take a sample at grid reference ABC XYZ. I found that I had to teach them map reading and everything. In fact, I had to teach them more than I had to teach the drivers. I was astounded. I was astounded at how difficult it was to take people from the laboratory into the field, whereas taking drivers into the laboratory seemed a much easier process. I'm absolutely amazed at their skills that they were able to bring, and all done with a different sort of sense of service that it was. I mean, I can remember we were setting up the mobile lab one day, and it had been raining, and we'd ploughed up the ground, and we had a bit of hard standing, and it was muddy and it was knee deep in mud, and I got a shovel out and started shoveling it off the concrete so that we didn't carry it every. And this came behind me. "Doc, you are not allowed to do that. Give me that shovel now. That's my job." You know, I said, "It's anybody's job who's prepared to do it, Ken, you see." And, No, you are not. I said, "What are you doing?" "Oh," he said, "I'm skiving." So he said, I said, "Well, here's a shovel then. You can do it if you're skiving. If you're not doing something more important, if you're doing something important, fair enough." But they mucked in, whereas you took a professional away, and they expected to get royal treatment. I had one PSO came with us. when we developed the radioisotope work, we had to developed another laboratory, and we went away for 10 days normally to do 2 trials, and we did one trial early in the week, and because his radioactive work, he could assess it quite quickly. He produced the results very rapidly indeed, whereas we were working with petri dishes and the plates. They'd got to be incubated, and took us time to produce those results before we could think about doing another experiment. So he said, "Right, I'm off now. I've done my job. I'm going now." I said, "Oh no, you're not. You're down here. We're doing 2 trials." "Oh, I can't wait around here waiting to do things." I said, "Well, I'm waiting around here to do it. Why shouldn't you?" Anyway, he said he refused. So I said, "Right, get in the car." This was Portland, so I drove him back here, and I said, "Now explain to the director why you're not prepared to work another day." Within 5 minutes, he was back in the car going to Portland, tail between his feet. Yeah, he was not a happy man, but he was a professional. He went on to get a chair,